Hello, and welcome to the Colorful Language Talk Show. My name is Lily.
And I'm Pauline, and today we're going to be discussing more Christian than black, and we have a special guest with us, and we have with us today Bishop John Lawson, who is running for State Senate of Texas, District 23. And we want to engage him. We have a lot of questions, and he has a lot to say about what's going on in our black community. And so I'll just start off with one very important question. Bishop, what do you think the most prevalent or pressing question that we have today in the black community?
I think it's the economy. We are operating, let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is a Jet magazine, and right in the middle of the Jet magazine there's a chart. In this chart, this black line is white people's income, go way up here. And 7 years or a few years later, the red line, it increases. Down here to Hispanics' income. It's way down here, but it's higher than the black people. Mm-hmm. And after 6 years, it rises. And here's the black people. It's below the Hispanic income, below the white people's income, and after 6 years, it decreases. And the reason for that is our lack of understanding of the capitalistic system and the kind of leaders that we put in office lead us in the wrong direction. We go west looking for the sunrise, and every year we keep electing the same people, and our income decreases and decreases. And we have less and less and less and less. And we gotta get rid of these people. We gotta have new leadership. We gotta have people that will lead us to prosperity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
And one of the problems with our leaders, our so-called leaders, is that they help to encourage the negative in our community, and the negative attitude where we want to think bad or talk ill of education, speaking correct English, doing the right thing, hard work, whereas those that participate in the negative, that's lifted up and celebrated.
Yeah, well, see, I think we got to remember one thing. If we allow our enemies to choose our leaders, we're always going to be misled. Just for instance, this book is called 33 Questions About American History that you're not supposed to ask. And one of the questions is question number 32. Who is S.B. Fuller? And Thomas Wood thought that S.B. Fuller was so important to American history that he put him in this book. Mm-hmm. Because almost nobody, none of the people in the black community have ever heard of S.B. Fuller, yet he was so important to American history because this was a man who started his business with $25 during the Depression, built a multi-million-dollar business. But the most important thing is that he dedicated himself to training other black people how to be successful in the capitalistic economy, which is America. Mm-hmm. I mean, he took boys off of welfare. John H. Johnson, the publisher of Ebony and Jet magazine, was on welfare. They were delivering commodities, powdered cheese and eggs to his house. Mr. Fuller took him and trained him in business, and Johnson Publishing Company does $700 million a year. He took George Johnson and trained him. George Johnson was 16 years old. He was a high school dropout. Mr. Fuller took him and trained him, and he had Johnson Products Company. It was the first black company ever on the American Stock Exchange. And he trained Dudley. I don't know if you ever heard of Dudley Products. Mm-hmm. You know, later on, mm-hmm. Mr. Fuller trained him. He was out of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. He wanted to raise hogs. Mr. Fuller said, come on, and I'm going to show you how to raise some men and women. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Fuller was taking black people who was supposed to be nobody, and he was making somebodies out of them. And he wasn't protesting, he wasn't marching, he wasn't demonstrating. Mm-hmm. And they decided he was such a danger to the established order of things. He didn't believe in protesting, he believed in marching. He believed that whatsoever thing you sow, that's what you reap. Mm-hmm. So if you sow differently, you'll reap differently. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats' philosophy that they've been espousing to black people is whatsoever thing somebody else sow, you reap. And that is not the truth. That's not what the Bible says. So they've been blaming white folk. White people are doing this and we reaping this. And we will reap better if the white folk would do something different. But that is not the truth. Mr. Fuller, that is not the truth. The white people reap what? What they sow, and we reap what? What we sow.
Yes.
And if we not reaping the right thing, then we got to say, listen, maybe we are not sowing the right thing. A farmer goes out and he plant all his seeds and he keep getting watermelons and he wanted corn. What does he know?
He's planting the right seed.
He planted the wrong seed, right? You keep getting watermelon, he want corn, you keep getting the wrong thing. That's because you planting the wrong thing, right? So what the farmer would do, he would change what he plant. You know, but we haven't done that. We keep electing these same old Democratic officials who tell us it's the white people discriminating against you, segregating you, and doing all that. So we go marching and blaming them. We want our freedom. We want justice. No peace, no justice. We do all of those silly stuff. And at the end of the day, our income keeps going down. And we got to stop that. And somebody got to tell the truth about what's going on in our community. And if we don't stop it, you see how down this thing is? It's going down. We're already at the bottom, and we're going further down. We go any further down, we're not going to be on the page.
And we're the only demographic where that's happening, where we're losing income.
People coming from all over. They're coming from Korea, coming to America and prospering. We've been here all the time. We done picked tons of that cotton, and we've been here hundreds of years, and we don't prosper. People come over this year, next year, they prosper. We've been here all of these years, and we don't prosper.
But there was a time where the black community was prospering. We did have entrepreneurship.
We did, especially around the turn of the century. We had a great leader. His name was Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was teaching black people how to do well in the economic system, which is America, capitalism. And some people didn't like that. And they were Democrats, incidentally. They didn't like Booker T, and they didn't like what Booker T.
You know, that black folks can go anywhere, do anything. They have the jobs, they can vote. They're not in the back of the bus anymore, and they have their freedom. They can move around, and they have the mobility and the means to just achieve as much as other demographics, but yet our blacks do not achieve. So I guess my question is, what can we do? How can we get to them to let them know that they can be just as fruitful as the others?
See, one of the things that, has always been the case, and Mr. Fuller used to always talk to us about that, was that, we always trying to get white people to do something different, to stop discriminating against us, open up housing, open up jobs. And Mr. Fuller said, even when they do that, it's not going to help black people because white people improve, but that don't mean that you improve. You can improve. If Lily decided she wanted to develop more muscle in her arm, she started lifting weights, Lily's gonna have more muscle, but not you. So if white people do things to improve, they will be better, but not black people. In order for black people to be better, black people have to start doing things that would improve themselves. And marching and demonstrating, we are better marchers and better demonstrators, but there ain't no market for that.
I know one thing my parents always told me is that, unfortunately, because we're black, we have to work harder. We have to try harder. We have to study harder. But, the question now is, why do I have to work harder? I shouldn't have to.
Well, because of God. God's got a law. And we talked about it again and again. And the law is the law of supply and the law of retribution. The law of supply says this: if you use what you have, you can read the 25th chapter of Matthew. If you use what you have, God will give you more. It would increase. Whatever you use, God will increase it. If you use your mind, God will give you more mind. If you use your muscle, God will give you more muscle. So if you work, you're gonna get better. But if you don't work, you say, well, I'm not gonna use my mind, I'm not gonna use my muscle. I'm just let it sit here and not do nothing. It's going to take back from you, the law of retribution going to take back from you what it already has given you, and you're going to have less and less muscle. You're going to have less and less mind. That's why there's so many crazy black folks walking around begging for quarters and dying because they're not working. And if you don't work, you're going to lose whatever you got. You're going to lose your health, you're going to lose your strength, you're going to lose your mind. The only way you can keep your mind strong is that you use it. And when people pay you, and that's the insidious thing about the welfare system, people pay you not to use what you have, right? Now they pay you and you can be comfortable, but that don't stop God's law from operating, right? The law of retribution say, well, you're not gonna work, you're not gonna use your muscle, you're not gonna use your mind, then the law of retribution is gonna be right there to retrieve what you already have. And it's doing a lot of retrieving right now, you know, and it's retrieving to such a point that if we don't get too busy, we don't start doing things to improve ourselves, we're gonna be in a world of trouble.
Now, you're running for Senate District 23,
23.
and right now your opponent is Royce West?
Royce West, he works for the Democratic Party. You notice I didn't say he works for black people. He works for the Democratic Party. Whatever the Democratic Party sent him out there to do, he does. Whatever legislation they tell him to be in favor of and to vote for, that's what he does. He don't work for you. You elect him, but he does not work for you, and he will not work for you because the Democratic Party is the party that pays him.
Okay.
And he's loyal to them.
And you know, we hear a lot of candidates, and they talk good, they sound good, they make promises, but they're just one person, and you're.
Well, you know, when people are going in the wrong direction, you know, when you know something that other people don't know, and because they do not know that they're gonna be harmed. Just, you know, I used to tell people about the Oklahoma building, for instance, right? They pulled a truck up in front of the building, there was a bomb downstairs in the truck. Suppose you were in the building and you knew, somehow you had the knowledge that that truck that pulled up there had a bomb and it was gonna go off in 10 minutes, right? And you got your hat and your coat and you said, I'm getting out of here, right?
Yes.
And then you got downstairs and you left, and then later on you heard, boom, the bomb went off, right? Did you do your duty?
No.
No, because you knew something that everybody else didn't know, and everybody else was going to be harmed by them not knowing that, right? So it's your duty to do what? You got to say something. You got to say something. You got to holler, scream. People in your house, the house is on fire, you don't even want to woke up, right? Everybody else still asleep. You say, I got to get out of here.
So
have you done your duty? No. You got to wake everybody up. That's your duty.
Okay, so the promise that you're making to your constituents right now is that you will do the right thing.
Yeah,
no matter what
we are going in the wrong direction, and we got to change and go in another direction.
Yeah, but you know, there is such a thing up there called the elite, and it's a powerful force. You know, they might put you in the basement in the corner without a light.
It don't matter. You know, see, you can't be worried about what folk gonna do to you, right? If that's gonna be your motivation, if your motivation is gonna be fear, right? You know, we got a chance to change and help our own people. We got a chance to help America, right? We need to take that chance, and who cares?
And what if a bill comes up that you like the bill, but it has something attached to it about abortion that you don't like? What would you do?
Oh man, heck no. Listen, I carry this around. I'm using this. This is called my Alpha 21, and it's about abortion in America and how abortion is really how black people and Hispanics are the targets of abortion, how the abortion industry is killing millions and millions of black and Hispanic babies every day. And what kind of person would you be, right? What kind of person would you be to condone the murder of those many kids? They cut those kids' arms off, they stick suction tubes up the back of their spine and suck their brains out. Royce West say he's concerned about Trayvon Martin, and he's not concerned about the millions of black babies right here in Dallas that they slaughter every day before breakfast. And I can't understand it, right? And
if you were,
I'm against this. I'm against abortion.
Good.
I don't want them killing a black baby, Hispanic baby.
Any kind of baby, yes.
Any kind of baby, right? Because it's plain and simply murder. You know, they couch these terms and say pro-choice and pro, you know, is murder. It's pro-murder. And nobody gave a woman a right to murder her baby. It's not in the scriptures anywhere where you had a right to murder your baby just because that baby is incubating a few months in you, then you had a right to kill it. You don't have that right.
That beating 21 days
That's right.
after conception.
That's
So
right.
that's a life.
That's a life.
And you know, when you think about it, God is life. I mean, even in this side or the next side, he's a God of life.
Yeah.
He's not a God of death.
Jesus' mission statement was, I came that ye might have life.
Mm-hmm.
And the Democratic Party mission statement is, I came that you could choose to murder life,
Mm-hmm.
to snuff out life.
Would you be willing to put forth some kind of legislation in that regard?
In what regard? To stop abortion?
Stop abortion.
Anything I could do to stop
Would you be
abortion.
willing to take pen to paper and just say, stop abortion?
Anything I could do to stop
that?
abortion, I would do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ain't no question about it. Anything I could do, any kind of legislation, anything that I could do to end this travesty, I would do it.
So your determination is to be more Christian
Than black.
Yeah, that's right.
Amen. We thank you so much for coming today and having this time, taking this time to talk with us. We want to let everyone know that you can go to Lawson for 23.com, and he is running for Texas State Senate 23, and he's running against Royce West, who hasn't been a great representative for us. We need someone like John Lawson that is going to stand for all the right things, that is going to be more Christian than black. He is going to be an American, standing for American values and the jobs and the moral values that our country needs to stand for, starting right here in our local community, District 23.
Send money.
Please do.
Okay, Lawson423.com.
Lawson423.com.
Lawson423.com.